Instagram the way we usually do.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
So there's potentially not going to be an Instagram Live?
Well, there will be, but it might potentially be on the phone and not how we usually do it, because apparently they've been having issues, but it seems right now to be working, so we'll see if it actually goes live here when I click it.
That's fine.
But we are live on YouTube right now and Twitch.
What?
We'll see if Instagram wants to work.
On the phone or through the camera?
Through the camera.
Okay.
Which, you're out of focus. Let me fix that. Nice. Okay, I think it worked on Instagram.
I'm refreshing.
I think it worked. I don't know why it was telling me it wasn't going to, but it did.
Okay.
All right. Let's get YouTube up.
Ooh, there's the Airsoft Live. Also, KWA just dropped their new SMG.
Oh, that's the like. Wait, KWA made one?
Yep.
That's the BNT one.
Yeah, so it's the BNT clone thing.
How many companies have made that? Because we just saw one by Delta too. That's an AEG.
Mm-hmm.
How many companies are cloning that? Is that the new hotness right now?
It might be.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're cool. I'm not against it. You know, updated MP9.
I know. I've got all the magazines for it anyway.
Are they compatible? Because I know that
They better be. If
the BNT MP9, the one that BNT specifically was making, is not compatible with the previous MP9 mags, the gas ones.
Because there's also the Versk one, which takes the MP9 style of magazine. I don't know if it's cross-compatible.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish they would be.
That'd be so cool.
Because that's what Jason was
did
looking at. Because Jason has the MP9 with a whole bunch of mags. So he was like, "Oh, if it takes the same mags."
Yeah.
We're not sure.
Yeah. I would assume the new one is going to be KMP9 mag compatible.
Yeah.
Because it would only make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I like the one that does Glock mags because you can take the adapter in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice.
Yeah, the Lambda one.
But anyways, how's it going, you guys? Welcome to the Amped Airsoft Lunchtime Live. I'm Ross.
I'm Talon at Customer Service.
And we're here to have some fun with you guys for an hour. We got some comments already of people saying, "Yo, what's up? Hello, everybody." Someone said, "Hi, Talon."
What up, boik?
Somebody said,
Hello, Gray Bush.
"Yo, I'm GF. I'm trying to start an airsoft journey. Could y'all help me out? Would y'all like to donate to a brother?" Well, we actually do giveaways every other week. We have a giveaway right now for a SIG MPX Pro or Sport line.
Sport
Or
Sport.
Pro line?
Sport line.
Sport line.
That one right there. That's
Yeah.
the Sport line.
The Sport line series. So you can go to our Instagram, you can leave a comment, you can share it, and then maybe you'll win that. We do them every other week. Lots of people win. Definitely have a chance, so go ahead and jump onto that. We also have our Father's Day sale this weekend. So if there's anything you've been looking to pick up, make sure you head on over to the website and take advantage of that. We'll have some posts going up about the sale codes and everything later tonight, so just keep an eye out. That's kind of what we got going on. How are you sexy mother lovers doing? Gray Bush. Good. How are you doing?
We're doing all right, Gray Bush. And I wore this specifically because last week we talked about the Boogaloo stuff. So throwing it back to last week.
Throwback. How is the Arcturus Trinity AG line drop-in brushless motor compatible? I want to say yes to the brushless motor compatible because it's standard, right? It's pretty standard V2. The Trinity AGs?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the current production of brushless motors, it is going to be compatible with the... I'm not even going to get into the first iteration of brushless motors, but with the current brushless motors, it is compatible. As far as how it is, I definitely like the quality of the external finish.
They're nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're light, too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like... are they metal or... I think they're polymer, right?
They are metal.
The Trinity line is?
Yep.
Okay. I was just going to say that a lot of the Arcturuses are polymer, and I know a lot of people kind of inherently don't like polymer, but I actually really like the weight of them.
Yeah, they're very,
When
very
you play
nice.
Airsoft a lot, having a light gun is nice.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, trust me, all my guns are too heavy. Trust me. Gray Bush says he loves the shirt, Talon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm broke. Yes. When you enjoy Airsoft, everyone ends up a bit broke, but we try to do our best to give you guys like our our customers, our fans, the people who enjoy watching us, an opportunity to get some free stuff. So we run things all the time. If you go to any event we're at, we usually have a raffle going on. So
we've got some very generous raffles.
We do. We usually try to give away like HVA engine setups and stuff, like some pretty cool stuff that we know you guys want because we want it. So.
Because we're airsofters as well.
We are airsofters. Can't wait till Friday going on a family trip to Bahamas. Ooh, that sounds nice. Bahamas sounds nice. I haven't been on like an actual vacation in a while. I've gone on like trips.
Yeah, like day trips.
Yeah, they're not really vacations.
Vacations are too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I can't afford that right now.
I also feel like I go and see more stuff on day trips because we're trying to cram as much stuff in compared to vacation, which is a lot more leisurely, but I just don't feel as fulfilled
I'll also
coming out of
say,
vacation.
Yeah, I also put an interesting like parentheses on vacation. Like going to the Bahamas sounds like a lot of fun. But like personally, when I visit somewhere, I mean the Bahamas is one thing because it's like a beach. But like if I'm visiting somewhere, I like to go see and do things, and it doesn't feel very vacation-y.
Yeah.
It feels like work. It feels kind of exhausting. I'm tired. I get home. I'm like, I just want to sit in my bed for a day. A vacation to me is just sitting at home for a couple days. I mean, that's nice.
A staycation?
Exactly. Yeah. If I can relax, it's a vacation. Usually when I'm out of town, I'm not relaxing. So. Sup, y'all? Coming to you from Spain. Oh, that's sweet.
That's way out of the way, man. ¿Cómo estás?
I wonder, I bet there are some cool fields out there in Spain. I really want to do some EU airsoft. I've said it so many times on here. Got a Polestar F2 with everything upgraded. Thoughts on adding either a Gate Titan 2 or Gorilla FCU? Honestly, you don't need to. The F2s are, I mean, their trigger boards are great.
Yeah. Trigger boards are great, and the FCUs allow a bunch of programmability. I will say, having spent time on the Gorilla and the Titan 2 myself, the Titan 2 is awesome because it does allow for a lot more controllability and tunability. However, I will say that I personally am not a fan of the Gate electronics because mine have fried or just killed themselves. It like randomly.
It can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in like adverse weather conditions, extreme humidity, or rain.
Yeah.
That definitely has not helped. So the Gorillas, I think, are going to be a little bit better. Gorilla does give you also some customization, not as much as the Gate, but is more weather treated. That's my 2 cents. I say stick with the Polestar FCU, personally. That's just me.
Yeah, the Polestar 1 has all of the features that you kind of need. Would you be gaining any like benefit from using a different one, really?
Not really.
I don't think so.
Other than like the extreme tunability, the Bluetooth connectivity.
The Bluetooth connectivity, yeah, I could see that being a benefit, but it's once you know how to tune your F2, it's not overly difficult to tune it. So I would probably just stick with what you have in there, unless there's a feature that you want like Bluetooth. But otherwise, your gun's gonna function probably just as good either way. So
yeah, I'd really like to spend some time with a Gate 2 in a different build. Most of my builds are all milsim, so I want them to last. But like getting something set up for indoors where it's going to be better protected and doing a more in-depth comparison, I'd like to spend some time doing that. Yeah,
I'm also a big fan of like, don't fix it if it ain't broke. I'll run it, and if your F2 FCU fries or something happens to it, and it shits the bed, then think about a replacement. But until that happens, which honestly I don't even see that happening, unless there's something faulty with it ever happening anytime soon. So
yeah, it's also a pain in the butt trying to get the trigger contact or the selector contact, which is just the sticker, to work really well with the Gate infrared sensors.
Yeah.
That's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. So that's our opinion, quick opinion. Hi, Kevin. I see Kevin's on YouTube.
What up, Kev?
I ignored that earlier. I saw you posted that earlier and I didn't say anything. People talking about starting Airsoft. That's always great. My dream vacation is to Norway or Switzerland. Norway or Switzerland would be very cool. My dream vacation, though, is definitely probably Japan or South Korea.
Back to Japan is like top on my list.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you been there before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
For a high school student exchange program.
Oh, really? So you spent like time there?
Only about a week. So it was like it was a summer student exchange program.
That's pretty short, yeah.
Yeah,
Student exchange. That's
but it
cool,
was
though.
like it was so cool. It was epic.
That sounds cool.
I don't even have somewhere in the UK that I would want to go. I know everything is like
In the UK?
Yeah,
I have family
everything is like
living in the UK,
short,
yeah.
so like I can make a day travel. I think going everywhere.
If you're within it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like close enough that you can, but it's also like it's like trying to like.
Because I think of like U.S. state travel.
Yeah, it'd be like trying to see Philly and Pittsburgh in the same day.
Yeah.
It's like you could, but like, do you want to? No, probably not. No, I have family live in England, so I've spent a little bit of time up there, and it's cool. I like it. I want to play some airsoft fields up there. They got some like old abandoned castles that are like older than the entirety of the United States.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds sweet. But yeah, no, I mean, Japan I want to go to. Then part of the reason why I haven't been is, I mean, A, the flights are expensive. They're also so long. I hate flying. I get really bad, like, motion sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, a 14-hour flight, I think it might even be longer than that. It's brutal.
It's like 21 to Japan.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be 14, 16.
See, I'd have to break that up. I'd have to, like, stop in the EU for like a day or two and then continue, because I couldn't do a 21, I mean... And then like the sleep deprived. Oh man. Woo.
And your sleep schedule is like a total 180.
Yeah, that's man. But I'd love to. I'd love to. Airsoft MCX Spear IAG1.
I think LT.
Reading that.
LT.
LTAG1. Eric's asking that. What is he asking? When we're gonna get them? When they're gonna make them? Do they have those? Is that a thing?
I think they technically have some models over in the Asian countries that I think I've seen. I think it's gonna be a hot minute before we see them in the U.S.
I want a spear though.
Yeah, the spears are sick. Are you kidding me?
I love playing with the spear in Tarkov. They got the gas blowback one here. That's not.
Yeah, but that's the APFG, so we're never gonna see that in the U.S.
Yeah.
Unless you happen to have one.
Who makes the AEG one?
My assumption is gonna be VFC. That's my immediate assumption, but I think I've also seen other companies do like the clone reproduction for the Asian market exclusively.
Yeah, it is VFC with their Avalon gearbox. Or maybe that's their old MCI. I have no idea. It'd be cool, Eric. I want it though. I want it. Is it worth it for the B&T though to save space
Bluetooth.
in? Oh, for the Bluetooth.
No, you're all good. That's why I'm reading like ahead of time.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought we were on.
We're still on the B&T conversation.
My brain can't function.
You're all good.
Is it worth it for the Bluetooth though to save space in my buffer tube? Probably not. I mean, it's up to you. I have had like tech that uses Bluetooth functions, and I just don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
My GoPros all have Bluetooth. I like don't use it. I just set them manually.
I love setting them via Bluetooth, and I get the preview, and I can get it just right.
It's nice, but like I don't know. I know how to do it manually, and it's just easier than pulling my phone out sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's just me. If you think that you're going to be tuning a lot and using Bluetooth, it might be worth it for you. But like for me personally, it wouldn't be. So.
It depends on the build, in my opinion. So I know with the MPX and MCX variants that I've built for people, they've kept their electronics in the handguard. I wish I could grab that one and just showcase an example. And then have the battery compartment up on the top of the rail system, and then they just quick plug in through one of the ports of the handguard. And that way you can charge the battery outside of the handguard, but everything's like kept neat and tidy inside the handguard. But there's no good way to access it for changing. So then they just hook it up to Bluetooth, and they can make those adjustments via their phone instead of having to remove the handguard, make those adjustments, put it all back together because of the way that the MPX and MCX work, and then go through that whole process. So it just depends on the build.
It's usually how it goes. What's up? You still doing the giveaway? That is going to be next week. Next week we are giving away the MPX, yes, the MPX.
Yes.
You can enter into it now. It's live. It's on our Instagram right now. Or if you want additional entries, you can go to the giveaway page on our website and find all that there. Put your email in, that sort of stuff. I dig the Titan and the Aster with the Bluetooth ability. Yeah, they're nice. If I want to maximize my chance of winning giveaways, what do I gotta do? Well, outside of entering on the Instagram, you go to our website, the giveaway page. You can put in your email, and then there'll be an option to follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on X.
Share with whatever.
Yeah, do the sharing thing. The sharing thing is your best bet on Instagram.
You did miss a comment.
Did I?
Are there any nice Cyma V3 gearboxes on the market? I hate the high torque gearboxes.
Oh, I did miss that.
So you're probably going to look for the Cyma Elite or Pro version.
That's the Platinum series.
Platinum, yes. Because I keep forgetting, because they have like 3 different tiers.
Yeah, it's the Platinum series is the nice ones, but even those aren't.
They're not like the OGs.
Yeah, they're nice. The Platinum series are nice. I mean, it wouldn't be. I don't think any of SEMA's would be considered a high torque gearbox.
No.
So, yeah, I would definitely look at the Platinum series if you're sold on SEMA specifically. But there are plenty of other brands that work in compatibility with SEMA because it's a very, what's the word?
You said compatible.
Yeah, I guess it's just a compatible brand. I guess I don't know. So like, there's a lot of other brands that'll work. So if you have a gun body, you're trying to find a gearbox to drop into it, there's a lot that will fit in a SEMA. Yeah. But the Platinum series is what you're looking for. All right, let's see.
Someone from Belfast.
Belfast. That's Germany?
Yes.
Belgium? Where is that? Is that Germany? Am I right?
I'm pretty sure it's Germany.
Oh, no, I'm gonna fact check
Oh, you're
that.
looking for it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to do it. Go get
No, it is not. It is
Oh,
Ireland.
wow.
off.
Way off.
Off.
Us dumb Americans.
Look at me. I don't know what a kilometer is.
All I know is a mile's bigger. They didn't use
You're not measuring an MCX spear. I don't know.
I prefer the cheeseburger conversion.
You're not measuring in Big Macs. The gas blowback spear, but it's 700. Yeah, they have gas blowbacks, not AGs, nor are they easy to get here. No one yet. Papa needs one to mirror his. Yeah, because Eric got a real spear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Eric, you gotta take me to the range someday. I wanna range that thing. But yeah, I want the AG ones too. So, yeah. How are the new MTW? Someone's asking.
That's Danny boy.
Yeah.
They're good. They work
Okay.
and perform just like an MTW series, which is what we want. There are some complications when it comes to some of the other functions, such as the Quake, which do make it a little bit more complicated. We have a sampling of 3. So we had ordered 10. 3 of them went to staff immediately. And between those 3, we do have different quirks and different performance degrees that do make our review a little bit more complicated as far as what we compare ours to the rest of the customers. So we're looking at 1/100th of all of the rifles that are produced. So that does make it a little bit more complicated. Mine has some weird hiccups. That's the one that's currently on the wall back behind me. Mine does not recoil nearly as hard as one of our other staff members. And then Logan's, there was something funky with Logan's. His was doing a double tap, like a double shoot on semi-automatic.
So did yours. When I tested it earlier, it did it.
Mine has as well.
It did a little and I was like, oh.
His, I think, has been doing it more often.
Yeah.
Logan's also, because of his recoil, even though he's not maxing his recoil out, it is loosening some screws on his Quake system, so those constantly need to be tightened down and checked.
I imagined that would happen. As soon as I heard blowback, I was like, oh, screws are going to be backing themselves out.
That's what I thought as well. But then,
that's usually what happens.
But then feeling how soft mine was, I was like, I'm not concerned whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then one of our staff members is completely broken at this point. So we're currently trying to work with Wolverine to get that fixed. And we brought it to your guys' attention, viewers' attentions with our review video. And then we're going to do a bunch more later testing and some potentially future videos that are going to break down the MTW even further. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah. We do have the full MTW dig review is going to be going up hopefully this Sunday at 11 a.m. for you guys. So if you're curious on everything that we found with them and what we think, we'll be putting that out in detail. But yeah, I mean that's pretty good rundown for what we saw. There's some quirks, but I mean at the end of the day, the actual rifle itself is an MTW and it's nice. The quirks you're finding are with like the Quake and some of the other features they added. Which is to be expected on like a limited run 300 gun thing that they're not really.
Yeah, and it's a limited production. It's brand new technology, so it's a brand new engine and a brand new Quake system. So there are going to be a couple things that do need to get worked out. We're not saying it's perfect, but there is a level of expectation of it working really well for the price point. So we want to make sure that we're very honest and we're very upfront as to what we have seen. And maybe some expectations going into the Dig 2 when those get released.
Yeah, which I hope that's a thing.
Yeah, it's not the exclusivity. I really like seeing Rich and the Wolverine team come up with new ideas and new iterations, things that they can include in their lineup. Even if it is like a 1 of 300, like only 300 ever made, the fact that they're willing to integrate that into the system just to see how it works and get feedback from players is a really cool system, and I do like seeing that from companies.
Make me an MTW AK.
You asking too much now.
That's what I want. Just make me an MTW that's an AK.
Make me an
It don't even gotta be. It can be a Mark 47. All right. It can be AR. Just have it take an AK mag.
I was
want.
actually gonna say make me an MTW that takes MP5 magazines.
And that'd be fine too. They already made one that takes 308 mags.
Mm-hmm. They have one that takes the ARP9 magazines.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
I don't have ARP9 magazines. I have plenty of MP5 mags.
Yeah, whatever.
What's your favorite from Greybush? What's your favorite or go-to video game?
My favorite or go-to video game? Well, it changes so frequently. I'll play a video game a lot, and then I'll switch it up. I was grinding for like a couple years pretty religiously Tarkov, and then I kind of stopped in the more recent wipe, and I've been playing Armory Forger. How about you?
Yeah. I'm currently on the War Thunder path.
Ah, yes.
Otherwise, Battlefield or BattleBit being the most recent edition.
BattleBit that's funny. I was playing some Battlefield 1 recently. I was also playing some War Thunder, but I was doing tanks specifically.
Yeah.
The tank line.
Yeah, I'm currently only on the tank lineup.
It's funny because War Thunder's the game I play when I want to like not really think much and just kind of do something, and then I find myself like an inch away from the screen, squinting, trying to find a tank on a hill.
Just one pixel.
I'm like, I swear I just saw that bush move.
Where's the machine gun port? Where's the machine gun port?
Dude, I'm like, this is for me to relax, and I'm like cranking the gun around.
I get hit from like my 6, and I'm just fist banging on the table.
Rifleman Airsoft asked, what's the best sidearm? If you're asking, like, in general, period, best sidearm, I'd have to say Elite Force 1911, the CO2 one.
I prefer...
Thing's goated.
It is
Hot,
an OG.
cold weather, that thing runs.
It runs no matter what.
No matter what, it'll run.
I've had one that fell into the mud, like, completely submerged,
Yeah.
just, like, quick throw it off, and still worked.
Yeah, I had one that, like, the whole slide cracked down the center of it. It kept shooting. I was like, all right, bet. The APO ones are nice if you want some a little more kind of like main weapon but sidearm. I mean, personally, I don't carry a pistol on me. I'd find it more, I think, goated sidearm, tagging. Tagging grenade, goated sidearm. M203 launcher, goated sidearm.
It's true, though.
Having a launcher on you is actually...
How about this? A battle buddy.
Yeah, a battle buddy. My best sidearm is my battle buddy with his full kit and full primary.
Who can cover me when I need, when I'm going down.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of good... honestly, pistols are... I don't really have many gripes with many pistols. I know, like, back in the day, I don't hear it as much anymore, but back in the day, a lot of people would say, like, don't buy the WeTech pistols, and I never had a problem with them, honestly. Like, they'd leak sometimes, but at the end of the day, it worked like it was supposed to. It was a gas blowback.
I'm still not on the Wii fan.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I don't mind them. I think that people gave them a lot of trash. You just can't expect a lot, you know?
Yeah, but, like, when people are like, I'm spending $700 on this WeTech built Scar 8.
That's not smart. I wouldn't do that.
So yeah, so like, where's the line?
The line is when you don't get your Bane rifle as a WeTech. Any gas blowback WeTech pistol is gonna work. All right, you might leak a bit, you might have to play some O-rings. It's fine. You know, it's fine.
Carry spare magazines.
Yeah, it's fine. The rifles though, I wouldn't. Although they're like MP5s and stuff aren't bad.
They have cool rifles that they are doing gas blowback versions on, but I'm not picking any of them up.
Yeah. Is it green gas? No, the Elite Force 1911 is not green gas. It is CO2, which is part of why it is such a beast on the field.
Yes.
The CO2 just allows it to run and run and run and run. When we get in Ross Edition Fusion engine with your OG call sign? Never. I have no plans of putting my face on a Fusion engine like Wes did. You seen the Wes Edition ones?
Yeah, we've got one in tech that I want to fix up for
dude.
one of our builds.
Yeah. No, there's no plans of that. So.
Zero.
Yeah, zero plans. I'm not doing it. People talking about some of the internals of the MCX that's currently available from Avalon or from VFC, the Avalon body.
So I have seen and been in the middle / victim of this argument about VFC. And so I can only say, based on my personal opinion, based on things that I have seen in relation to a lot of other brands that I have sold through stores and worked on, as well as fixed and replaced parts, it is my opinion, personal opinion, not as Amped Airsoft, my personal opinion, that I think that VFCs are probably the best well-rounded out-of-the-box gearbox. I'd agree with that. As far as nothing that's pre-upgraded, nothing that is like crazy parts that are pre-installed, like an out-of-the-box bare-bones rifle, I'm going with VFC every single time.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have much to compare. Well, like, I feel like in terms of like a really good, like, most replicas you have to replace something out of the box.
Correct.
Like, there's at least one piece usually where you're like, yeah, that can be upgraded.
So I am not against upgrading my VFC gearboxes either.
No, you
I'm doing a killer shim job, and I'm changing the piston.
That's fair. No, I think the Avalons are great. I've never had a problem with them. I think like stock, they're pretty impressive. I mean, the price is a bit higher than your standard, but I think it's worth it at the end of the day. And the bodies are usually built pretty well. I'm not too sure specifically on the MCX body, but their Avalon series bodies are always pretty nice. So
I will say on the MCX, because it is front wired, that does make it more of a pain in the butt.
I mean, that's fair. It's got that skeleton stock, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like having to put it through the original VFC manufacturers could have definitely made that wire port underneath the front handguard, underneath the barrel, way bigger. They made it so small.
Yeah. Vic says VFC Avalon is great minus the mid-cap syndrome you get sometimes.
Yes, and to be fair, they're not the only ones that are prone to mid-cap syndrome.
No, by no means.
HPA is worse about...
HPA loves to have mid-cap syndrome.
Yes, you gotta have your magazine selected and ready. Like, you gotta go through testing to make sure your magazines work for your HPA build. And there are plenty of great gearboxes. I'm not saying that VFC is the best by any means and everything else is trash. I'm just saying what I have seen and worked on. VFC is just a little bit better compared to a lot of other brands and gearboxes. I do like a lot of other gearboxes for different reasons. I think Crytek, that's a comparison.
He's saying Crytek versus Avalon, what you picking?
VFC. Avalon.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd pick the Avalon. The Crytek, like, I feel like Cryteks are for a certain, like, type of person. Like, it's almost like a BMW owner. Like, you own a Crytek. You know what I mean? Like, you're a Crytek owner. Like, it's either you're a Crytek owner or you're not, which I think is fair.
Yeah. And Crytek has some great functions. I'm not dissing them.
Yeah, for sure. No, they're, but yeah, it's definitely, I would pick Avalon over, I mean, they also have more options, like what you can get in the Avalon series. The Cryteks, you have kind of the PDW, CRB, and SBR, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then he also said MCX, great body, shit motor alignment. That's fair.
Yeah. My one gripe with Crytek, I'm just going to say this one bit, and then I'm going to be done with it. While I'm on my soapbox, I really don't like how Crytek and a lot of other brands advertise having a quick change spring gearbox, but they make you remove the entire gearbox to get to the
Yeah.
spring guide.
Dude, that is my gripe with every company that says
Yes.
quick change spring, and they don't actually make it quick change.
It has a quick change
It's
spring,
quick change.
but let me just rip everything apart
Yeah.
to get to it.
Yeah, I mean that's Crytek. That's also
That's E&L.
That's E&L. Yeah, that's LCT as well. For most of their AKs, not all of them, I don't think, but I know on like my AK-12, I can't. I have to take the whole gearbox out. Avalon's just clip a coil or two off the tappet spring, and it resulted the mid-cap issue. When I say Crytek, I mean OG, not new ones. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that the new ones are pretty comparable to the OGs, which is kind of unfortunate since they've had like over a decade to make improvements.
Yeah.
But they feel kind of pretty similar. But hey, Vic, when I'm at your field later this month, we can compare your OG Crytek with the new one. So, back over to Instagram real quick.
Yeah.
Eric agrees with you. He said we is straight ass. He said Tal and I agree. Well, y'all can have your opinions, okay? How many Wii guns have you owned, Eric? How about that? Greybush says all my sidearms are WeTech, but none are stock. Yeah, I mean, you can't really, if you're gonna run them a long time, you can't leave them stock. They're definitely parts you need to replace. But I love the variety of just models of stuff that WeTech has. I mean, you can find so many cool,
Yeah,
especially handguns.
Yeah, they've got a lot of unique like one-offs.
I used to have a Wii Makarov that I had a lot of fun with. I used to love that thing.
Ned Mac, CZP09, you brought up a great point.
Oh, for the pistols?
Yes. CZs are like an underdog pistol model. They perform really, really well. I like their snap. They're very accurate and consistent.
I just don't like the look of them. That's personally, though.
That's fine.
That's got nothing to do with performance. I'd rather the, you know what I used to love?
What's that?
The Walther PPQs.
I had a PPQ for a while, like
I
one of the
like the
OG ones where
They
you
felt
had
good.
the auto selector in the very back of it.
No, not that one.
That's the one I had.
Okay, I'm talking about like the full green gas mags.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't. I don't think it had a selector in the back. It was semi only.
Mhm.
What selector?
On the very back. So you pull the slide back
Yeah.
from underneath, and
Oh.
then there's a little tab underneath, and you can go left for auto, right for semi. And it would hit a tab on the very back right,
Yeah.
which engages that semi action. So it'll reset the action, like your
Interesting.
hammer assembly.
Mm.
So it either gets the tab out of the way so it doesn't hit that, or you have your semi.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, I like those. I had fun with them back in the day. Eric said, you remove the non-functional gas block on the MCX Virtus and you can fit nearly any stick Titan battery. That's fair. Gotta shove it down the front.
Truth.
And then Ross said, Logan, where at? I must ask him about film. I'm telling you right now, he hasn't watched it yet. I can guarantee you. I don't even gotta ask him to know he has not watched it yet.
I wouldn't put my money on it, personally.
He was out at Liberty all weekend. There's 0% chance he watched it. 0%.
He did not watch any of my TikToks that I sent him.
Yeah, there's no chance. No chance. Eric said 0 by design. Wait, what are you talking about, bro? I would like to request a review of the new GMR plate carrier along with its neat pieces and parts and new mini-map. Seems neat how the whole system fits together. I agree, Eric. I also want to mess with it. I know we talked about it a bit, getting one and messing with it. Yeah. We should get those. I wish we carried them. I wonder if we could carry them.
We should be able to.
We carry GMR stuff, but I know we haven't gotten like many of their big drops in recently, like their goalie bags or anything like that. But I wish
true.
I'm gonna see what we can do about that, Eric, because I also would like to see some of that stuff in.
Oh, he owns 0 WeTechs.
Oh, he's saying 0 by design. That's what he's saying to the WeTech. Well, there's your first problem, man. I sent him the permission last week. I believe you did. Oh, yes, I did, Talon. Wait, Logan said that? Wait. Did you watch it?
He's saying he did watch some of my TikToks.
Oh, but Logan, did you watch Ross's film yet?
That's what we're saying.
Respond to that in the chat if you watched it or not.
It better be yes.
Yo, what's up? What's up, Joe Danger? All right, back over to YouTube real quick to see what we're saying here.
Victor knows what I'm talking about.
What do you say?
The 2014 PPQ, the OG.
You're thinking 2014 PPQ, Ross. I remember it from BG days. Okay, I mean, I must be forgetting that they had the full auto switch. I guess I didn't realize they went full auto. I don't know. But I do always think of the M9 Beretta that has the full auto switch on the side, and every time it shoots, it knocks the switch into full auto. Dude, that thing cracks me up.
Yeah, those would constantly break.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. It's really bad. Some fellas, when buying gas blowback replicas, would you prefer to do new or used if you didn't have an amp discount? Take into consideration many have a Gen 2 because Gen 1 was crap, also leaky valves, etc. I'll be watching later for answers. Well, you're getting a mixed bag because on one hand, a used could be a good thing because people have already put in that wear and tear. The parts that are potentially going to break have most likely already been replaced, and but you could also alternatively have it where these parts have wear and tear and they haven't been replaced yet.
Yeah.
So
it really depends. If it's a pistol, I'm probably not going to pick something up secondhand because of how small those parts are. So
I'd pick up a pistol secondhand, but
I mean, there's very low risk associated with it.
Yeah, it's not. You're not. I mean, I wouldn't spend a lot on a pistol secondhand.
Correct.
But
Rifles, I probably wouldn't get secondhand. If you're looking to get something. Now, I'm also guilty of having got gas blowback secondhand.
Yeah.
But I also know, not that I've had problems with it, but I know I can get the parts and I know how to fix them. And I've already done the research beforehand, so knowing where the risks are and willing to take that chance and that gamble.
Yeah, if you know how they work, for sure. It also depends on the deal you're getting. I mean, if it's a really good deal, especially if it comes with like extra mags and stuff, that's usually the most expensive part of a gas blowback is the extra mags.
Yes.
So if you get a good deal, it comes with extra mags, it's worth fixing the gun for the mags.
In most cases, it's almost as much as the rifle just to get a battle loadout of magazines.
Yeah, so I would say if the rifle comes with mags and it's a good deal, I would go with the used option. But if you're not getting a great deal, or if it's just coming with the one mag it comes with, I would probably go with a new one. That guarantees you a lot. It also helps with if you have issues, you can go through. Usually they're like the company's customer service, or if you buy from us out, like you can come through us if you have issues with it. So yeah.
Ask Vic if they are having any Somerset games.
Somerset games, Vic, you can let us know about that. I don't know. I know that Vic is hosting. Who's asking that? That's Eric. Eric, I know Vic's hosting a game at his property at the end of this month that I'm sure you're welcome to go to. Vic, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how public that is, if that's a invite-only thing or not, but I hope there were more games at Somerset. That was cool when we played there. But I know he was also saying he was going to move the field, like get a new property and stuff. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm. Also, catch you later, Graybush. Have a good rest of your day.
Yes, bye. I just assumed he's already gone by now, so.
Sure, but like, if he comes back to it, like, it's still there.
Sure. What build do you run, is what we got asked.
That's
a lot.
That's a pretty full question.
Yeah, we run a lot. I favor I have a SEMA Mark 47 with a backdraft Phoenix engine installed. I have a LCT AK-12 with a Mancraft PDIK installed. And those are my two main go-to guns, I'd say.
My current is this MCX. I have an original 2019 MTW Training Summit MTW that I had as my backup for milsims.
Which MCX? Did you just point at something?
No, I'm just like up. Up. I have two MTWs.
I was like, where am I seeing the MCX in here?
VFCs, I always have one on deck. Currently, my go-to VFC is a M4 SOP mod, and I want to do like a proper like Desert Storm loadout. Yeah. Then I have a two MP5s. One of them is a VFC Elite. The other one is going to be a Cyma Sport. That's the SD6 variant. Currently waiting on getting a selector switch from Elite Force because that's the one that fell off in an outdoor game. I got my Crytek LMG that I've got a Pulsar D on the inside of for testing, and that's doing great. I've got a couple more gas blowbacks. Ooh, KMP9, that's a very good backup when it comes to indoor gas blowbacks. And then I have a couple more with my parents up in Wisconsin that I haven't brought down. But yeah, I've got a couple rifles.
I mean, I got a bunch, but yeah, the two I said were my main two that I usually take on the field and run. Like my FAL, I haven't even fielded it yet. I haven't even played with it in a game.
I thought you definitely did.
No, dude. The only time I've even used it was when we shot that night vision video and I was shooting targets.
Wow.
That's the only time I've never ran it. I also haven't ran the Gene G Leve AR yet either. I haven't fielded that.
I thought you took the FAL to MCAT at one time.
No,
Okay.
I took the SD6, the Elite Force,
Mm.
which was fun. I like that thing. Update to your question, Eric. The Somerset field had flooding issues, so they're rebuilding. So unknown if there's going to be a game there this summer. I hope so. Ask her to reach out to Paul. The carrier is on sale, so I'm sure he has some extra. I will definitely do that, Eric. Of course, Logan didn't watch it. LOL, no. Yeah. At this point, the tease is worth it. We'll get on to Logan. That's where he lived. That's right. It's my birthday today, and I didn't get any bolts.
I would say wait until closer to the end of the day for our system to process. It's usually like a time clock, so it's not always midnight the day of that you're going to get anything. Wait until like the very end of the day, and then we'll see what we can do for you. And also, like, just save them up.
Yeah, I asked, how do I redeem them? And then Eric said, do not redeem. Yeah, if you have any questions about the bolts or anything, you can always email sales@amped-airsoft. That goes to our customer service guys that can help you out. I don't really do anything on the bolt end of stuff, the reward stuff. I just do the giveaways. Last question. Not actual last question, just never mind. I hate messing with the electronics on my F2, which is why I asked about the Bluetooth FCU. However, I am also considering a Nexus mechanical engine. Bad idea. Well, what are you going to install it into is the main question. We've had a little bit of alignment issues with the Nexuses just because they actually don't have a body pin, which is usually what holds your engine into most bodies. So depending on what you're putting it into. I personally had a lot of fun with the Nexus when I played with it and messed around with it, and it's mechanical, so there is no FCU or anything. Mm-hmm. So it's an option, but you also, since it's mechanical and you don't have FCU, you're losing a lot of that tunability, so yeah.
I will say that in seeing some of the Nexus engine, like R&D, different customers that get theirs and report stuff, there is an issue when trying to run them at higher PSIs, especially if you're going to use it for any type of outdoor build or outdoor setting. There is a greater than zero chance that because of that higher pressure, on the front of the gearbox there is a cylinder, and that's going to pull out. So when you run a higher pressure, your gearbox, Nexus gearbox, is going to push that cylinder that pushes into the actual Nexus engine from the front, is going to work itself out and is going to push against your hop-up unit, which is going to mess with your alignment, and it also produces a leak of air from the very front. So that is what we have seen. I'd probably say do the Nexus for any type of indoor build rather than outdoor, even though it makes the most sense for an outdoor build. And I do a lot of comparison to the original Tippmanns, where they were fully mechanical, no electronics, and they did run off of high pressure air. God, do I miss mine. However, the Nexus was going to be like the next step to getting something that's fully mechanical and have your safe semi and auto functionality. However, we are still running into some of those issues. So again, probably save it for an indoor build at that lower pressure.
What were you on?
Finalizing the Nexus mechanical question.
Gotcha. Someone needs to trade me for my HPA 417 setup. Vic, you need to just keep a gun and not trade or sell it. I just bought an HPA kit from y'all. First purchase from Amped. thank you for the support, man. We appreciate it. Let us know if there is anything else we can help you out with. For the Nexus, could you add set screws to replace body pin?
Technically,
Probably?
yes. Technically, yes. But
There's nowhere on the
yeah,
engine itself to sit those.
So you would need to tap the gearbox and then
Yeah.
align it to where that body pin is going to be, and that can get you to the closest possible way to produce a receiver pin position. However, that could potentially really mess with some of the air systems that are going to be inside of the Nexus. It is very finicky. You just heard my spiel, so I would rather not mess with it.
Yeah, I would just choose a body that like is really snug and really holds it. And when we did it, well, when I specifically built it, because the Texas built a few, but when I actually built one, I did the Lancer AirTac custom, and it was a tight fit, but I still needed quite a few shims in there to get it to not wobble. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. I think Victor is starting to understand like my Airsoft age.
Yeah, the OG Tinman would have been great if not for the hop up.
And they did kind of fix it with the V2. However, there were still plenty of issues with the amount of recoil force that was going on in that system. So I did sell mine, which is why I very promptly was very adamant about getting the Dig 1 for myself. Currently in the conversation with Wolverine and Wolverine MPW owners groups in order to like do some pseudo testing, get some like knowledge base out there, and trying to work on how to get even more oomph into the shoulder because I really miss that Tippmann.
I'm gonna go back to Honda 96 Shield because this one's a quick one, but DJ asks, can you HPA the Lev AR? Yes, you can. It is the, what is the exact tab?
It is the KWA tap.
Yeah. KWA tap, it's very simple. It's much like tapping any of your other guns. You just unscrew your threads there. I believe you take the O-ring off of it and put it onto your KWA tap, and then you just screw that guy in. Hook up air, make sure there's no leaks, you're good to go. Super easy, super simple. Honda 96 though.
I was about to just answer that out loud.
Yeah. I need to update my Airsoft Arsenal bad. I need to get my hands on G&G MP5. Can you guys get the G&G MP5?
We cannot due to licensing issues that are in the U.S.
Yeah. I don't think G&G can send any of them over here.
Nope.
As a company. Yeah.
Nope.
So we can get the Elite Force MP5s, not the G&G ones.
Correct. You're going to see that a lot with Airsoft options that are available overseas in the UK and the Asian market that do not have the strenuous, extreme trademark and licensing contracts that we have in the US because we have a lot more firearm companies that advertise and are way more frequent compared to a lot of the world.
Yeah, they got a lot more power here in the US. But that doesn't mean you can't get them. People will ship them from overseas, but just keep in mind that because of those trademarks, they can sometimes get held up in customs. We've seen it happen. Sometimes companies will tape over those trademarks or do different things to get them through, but they have been known to get seized, so you know, just keep it in the back of your mind. But you can do it. I know plenty of people who have full trademark G&G MP5s and stuff here that, you know, we can't sell, so.
Yeah.
Vic is saying you should come play the 28th, Talon.
I don't think we have anything scheduled. Do we have something for we might have something for the 28th, so we'll put a pin in that.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't think so.
It was the 28th or the 23rd.
The 28th, I don't think we have anything. Oh, no, we're at Bad Blood for E-Vike, which is EMR Event Park.
Yeah.
So
there is a chance I need to go work that.
Yeah. I'll be at your thing, Vic. I won't be at Bad Blood. At least I don't think so. So, we'll see about Talon and Logan, though. Oh, no. Did you guys get a chance to check out the Bullcraft Industries 240 stuff at Liberty this weekend? Me and Talon were not at Liberty, unfortunately. Logan and David, and then some of our techs and some of the other guys were out there, though. I don't know for sure if they checked it out. I know they were hanging out with a lot of the vendors, so I'm sure they did. I'm sure they talked to them.
I've seen a lot of pictures from what other vendors had, and it looked like there was a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, it looked a lot cooler than like most of the events that I've seen recently.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised with the turnout of vendors, and I always love seeing all the vendors out at these events. So.
What is your take on the EMG M16A1? The electronics are really good. When I was doing some review history for the XM177, I do know that with reenactment groups specifically, really liked the finish of the M16 series for the reenactment purposes. So if you're looking for like a really true one-to-one of the M16A1, there's some small things that are technically incorrect, but overall way more accurate compared to a lot of other M16s available on the airsoft market. And as far as functionality, it is an EMG, so it is going to be pretty compatible with a lot of other upgrade parts. I believe Sima's the one that is making that one.
That's the OEM usually.
Mm-hmm. So any type of upgrade parts you want to throw into there, they're going to work great. I don't think they're a part of the Platinum series, so more than likely you're probably going to want to do some internal upgrades to get it to perform.
Yeah, it's probably going to need some of that. My biggest issue, and this might be different on the M16A1, but usually I just don't like how they stamp a giant EMG logo on the side. Is that the same with the M16A1?
Not really. Okay. They've done some corrections, especially if it's going to be part of their Milsim series.
That's what I was going to say. I hope they didn't do that, but they're fine. They're fine guns. They're usually in the pretty mid-range affordable tier. So.
Yeah. So Eric, yeah, it is a Sima OEM, so I was right without him to scroll down. But thank you for confirming that, Eric.
Yeah, he has the XM177, which I also want one, Eric. Now that I got my T-Block set, I really want an XM177. So is it possible for me to order one from the UK? Maybe.
Private sale.
If someone there owns one and wants to sell it to you, they could probably ship it. Most UK companies legally can't ship to you. I'm not saying that they won't try to, but they technically can't. And technically that's not on them, it's on you to know your importing laws. So they could ship it to you, it could get seized in customs, and it's on you and not on them, and then you're out money. So just be careful where you're ordering it from. Just keep in mind that it's legal to own here, not legal to import. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
So probably have to do a private sale to have it sent here. Yeah, Great Lakes. Yeah. Great Lakes knows what's up. Okay, definitely answer my question. Thanks. No problem. 28th is Bad Blood. Thank you. Oops. I agree. I own two XM177s, but mine are from Classic Army. I don't mind the rotary style hop up. I did manage to get the M203 heat shield for my one. Ooh, that's really cool. The M203 heat shield.
Yes.
Gonna get the M203 for it next. Evike EU probably has them over there. Yeah, I don't think Evike will sell them. We'll ship them though. Or are you talking about the XM177? I don't know what you're talking
about. Probably just things in general that are available overseas that we can't get.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're referring to.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of availability out there.
And Victor, if you got a buddy who's willing to get rid of it, hit our socials up.
Get rid of what?
Get rid of a Gen 1 Tippmann. Even if it's leaking, man, just having another one just for that dry fire plump, just that satisfying plump. I even had
Whose Tippmann is it? I probably know whose it is.
You might put it down below. I even got my hands on a prototype heavyweight bolt that was going to go into the back of the Tippmann.
Oh, I'm sure that broke it.
No. So
that turned into a Zipman real quick.
No, so my rear tabs held firm. I even got a second one just in case because my rear tabs were starting to crack. But over the years of playing, it did not crack. I was ready for it. But it was a very specific heavy bolt mod where you had to tap the rear of the buffer tube in order to create like an anchor point, and it was just spring-loaded a bunch of force forward as that heavy bolt slammed into the back of your nozzle system. So mine was heavy, and I really liked that. It definitely would have not been covered by any warranty by Tippmann, but it...
Oh, it's Jared who owns it.
Okay.
I know who that is. So how's that work? Sorry, Honda's going back to the importing stuff. How's that work with Toki Marui since it's technically from Japan? Because I do want their new recoil MP5. So Toki Marui's weird in the sense that they love to use official trademarks for stuff and make stuff one-to-one, which is very cool. But that also means that the stuff that breaks that trademarking infringement, we can't get. So we carry a lot of TM stuff. We carry a lot of brands that come from China, Taiwan, Japan, all these places. And we are able to carry them no problem as long as they don't have those trademarks. So there are certain replicas that Tokyo Marui makes that have trademarks on them that we just can't sell. They have certain replicas that they have versions that are trademarked and versions that are not trademarked, and we can get the non-ones here, and then vice versa. And sometimes we can get them for a while, and then like a lawsuit pops up, and then we can't anymore. And that's all with the company and their trademarks, not us. But so it's all in the air. But if we're able to carry it, especially Tokyo Marui, we probably do carry it. So yeah, I mean, a good company to look at is Red Wolf. Red Wolf carries pretty much everything in the EU, and they ship to the US. But you'll know on Red Wolf if they can't ship something to the US because they'll tell you. So
yeah.
But the new recoil MP5 is cool.
Yeah, I'm with you, Honda. It is very, very cool.
Yeah. Are we able to get it? Maybe. I'm not sure what the trademarks are on it. I kind of assume that since we don't already have it, we probably can't. But
if my memory serves me correct, with all the trademarks that were on that recoil shock, we're definitely not getting that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because H&K is very.
It's very protected.
Yeah. Their trademark's pretty. It's like Disney almost. You don't really want to mess with the HK trademark. I mean, plenty of people do, but it's just hard for us to get anything that's not OEM'd by them, like VFC. So
there was that huge issue where, with the Wii Glocks or the Tokyo Marui Glocks that were getting brought into the U.S. and someone was reselling them, that was a huge legal battle and lawsuit that occurred.
Yeah, I think that was the TM ones. I used to have a TM Glock. Because they had all the trades on it.
Like they were full trades.
Yeah, it was 1-to-1 accurate trades and everything. So.
Like people even putting the white crayon on the
I did that.
Yeah.
You do the white crayon and then you take rubbing alcohol and you rub it off and then it leaves it all inside. It looks just like the
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
Yeah,
but
no, that's what I did.
It's like one of the small things you do for it.
The only issue is they're polymer, but. Okay, so we are getting to the end of our live here. So just to leave some stuff off, this weekend we have the Dig 1 Fossil Series review coming out. If you guys want to check that out on our YouTube, make sure you keep your eyes out for it. Sunday at 11 a.m. And then we're going to have Liberty 2 gameplay going out. If you were there and you want to see yourself shooting some people, or if you just want to watch us having some fun, that'll be coming up. And then towards the end of the month, we have another TRP game on the 22nd, which is our local kind of outdoor field. And then we'll be at E45's Bad Blood, which is at EMR Event Park. So come say hello to us. Come say what's up. Make sure you enter our giveaway. It's on Instagram for the MCX. MPX. We're giving that away next Wednesday during the Lunchtime Live. So go join now. Is there anything else?
That's it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.